Welcome everybody, here's your Strategy Wolf, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War I Empires in Turmoil. Welcome back to the Shadow of the Tsar scenario, and once again we are playing Balthazar Strategic Arcana. It's the rematch. This time we are playing the whites and he's taking the Bolshevik side, so let's try and see what we can do to prevent the revolution from spreading all across the world and ruining Russia, and bring it back to its former Tsarist glory and the individual white other nations. Yeah, just kidding. Before we get here into the replay, just some short disclaimers. I'm the Strategy Wolf. If you're new here, I'm doing historical gameplays or playing historical games. I'm going to be a historian not too soon in the future, so I try to play everything a little bit with a let's say, feasible background or roleplay, not to min-max. In my other games, normally Strategic Command, of course, we're trying to win, so this is maybe a little bit different. However, still, like, I'm not an absolute expert. I played with a lot of fun and have some experience in the game, but don't expect me to show you always the best and the most optimized play. Yeah, that probably also led to my defeat last time, which was pretty bitter, where he played me like a fiddle. And no, he's definitely, I guess that Balthazar is definitely a little bit more experienced. He's also not the min-maxer, I think. However, he brings the experience, but we will try the very best to defeat him this time and at least try to show what we can do. If you absolutely new to Strategic Command and or the Russian Civil War, go check out for me from our first playthrough my introduction video where I talk about some background information, so mostly from the red side, but oh, now we already have the replay of the Reds. Maybe I should have even looked at the story, but let's see what the enemy is doing. The Reds are pushing onto Kiev. I think there's not too much unexpected stuff happening right now. In the first turn, oh, wow, pushing it deep also into Latvia. It's gonna be interesting to see where he puts his center of gravity, I think. Since, oh wow, Poltava not even attacked, that was weird. Since I think one of my problems that I didn't really use our railway as the Bolsheviks well enough, and I got, I lost the initiative, I think. That was one of the things we're trying to do at the whites, and we might want to just replicate him. Of course, he knows the moves now, so it's gonna be very interesting, and depends, of course, where the enemy also goes to. Yeah, Orenburg, Cossacks surrendered. I think this is standard. Internal disputes weaken the Ukrainian directory. Bolshevik Navy blockades shipping at Tallinn in the Gulf of Finland. Russian winter strikes. General strike triggers Spartakist uprising. Irish civil war begins. Greater Poland uprising. Polish and Czech forces clash in Silesia. Okay, now coming to the advice in every beginning of the game. As we already see, starting with the Poles, we do have several factions. It's probably like the biggest weakness we do have, since we have to fight on different fronts with the MPP or industrial resources being split off, and we're very depending on foreign aid and to some extent too. So let's see that we can make the best out of it. Starting with the Poles, active advice on the use of the Polish army. Our Polish soldiers are willing to fight and die for their country, there's no doubt about that, but they will not tolerate being used in war of aggression beyond Poland's historic borders. Neither the Whites nor the Reds favor us having our independence, so trying to take our forces to Smolensk or beyond would only lead to mutinies and disorder within the army, and would win us no friends in Russia. To avoid any problems, restrain your campaigning to within Poland, the Ukraine, Lithuania, and the area of the west of the Berezina River, which still is quite a lot. Don't you worry too much. Or we can go into offensive with the Poles, as he also did. Okay, the situation facing the White armies. The Great War may have come to an end, but our own struggle to restore law, religion, and order is not only just beginning. Our forces are divided through political and personal differences, but we shall share a hatred of those who have taken power and murdered the Tsar and Tsarina. To assist us in driving the Bolsheviks from Russia, British and American troops have landed in the north, while French forces will soon arrive in Ukraine. With these foreign support, we should be able to consolidate our positions, seek additional allies in Ukraine, Poland, and Finland, and advance on the enemy in Moscow and Petrograd. We need to act fast, striking hard before the Red Army becomes an unbreakable foe. On the British forces. Exhausted by the efforts required to win the Great War, there is little public support for British soldiers to campaign deep into Russia. It is therefore strongly encouraged that you restrict the use of British forces to the following regions in order to maintain British fighting spirit. Northern Russia, as far as south as Lake Onega, territory of the Baltic states, Crimean Peninsula, the Caucasus as far north as Grozny. Additionally, British garrisons should be maintained in Baku and Batum to prevent local ethnic tensions from reducing the fighting spirit of the southern whites. Baku over here, yeah, very experienced troops, but we can't really use them. Batum is here, good. France and the United States have each contributed a small expeditionary force to support the White Armies, which have been deployed in Odessa and Arkhangelsk, respectively. After enduring the losses and hardships of the Great War, political support for the intervention in Russia as both countries is low, morale within the ranks is also poor, and any attempt to use these forces offensively is certain to lead to mutiny. Each nation's fighting spirit will fall by 150 points each turn. If these forces suffer losses, and I declare it will be accelerated if they've suffer losses, and their forces will be withdrawn upon this reaching 0. The French forces will also be withdrawn immediately if this is moved for more than 5 hexes from Odessa. Yeah, we're gonna keep them down there. They don't stay too long also, to be honest, so yeah, that's what we can do. And we get a white division on low level. And that's it for the start. So yeah, guys, let's get a glimpse of the situation. We have the Northern Whites up here with the Americans and some Brits. We do have the Baltic forces here, Estonians, Estonians here, Latvians, Lithuanians. Pushed already down here, wow, from Riga. And here was very passive the last time, I think, as the Reds. They pushed into Ukraine. I'm really surprised they didn't attack Poltava here. That's sad that we can't really take the Hero Whites immediately. That would have been really cool. Or maybe I think I'll probably just go back and dig in somehow. Potentially, yeah, we'll see. This is like this. So sorry, getting lost into details. We have got the Poles, we've got the Baltic states, we've got the Southern Whites, who are by far the strongest one. Southern Whites heavily supported by different types of Cossacks all over the place. So we have some mobility and artillery cavalry advantage, in my opinion. And then we've got the Ural Whites, of course, with Chef to fight over here and hold the position here in the east. Alright, and I think, I mean, the main idea is similar to what he did, to be honest, but we have to, of course, adjust wherever we can. We have here Denikin and we have Krasnov here. They're pretty decent HQs, I think. I guess the first big task is to eliminate them quickly from the Caucasus and then go hard, probably on Tsaritin or somewhere here, to use the Nikin and our group of forces to strike where we can in range and really cause some damage. I think that's the main task we have to do over here. And yeah, of course we have to see what the enemy is doing where else. Here we're also gonna get extra strong troops in the east, so we can do stuff, but yeah, some of you recommended me actually as a Bolshevik. I should have taken them out early on. I think there's a lot of reinforcements actually coming for the Urals, so it's they come scripted by event also, right? Also with the Poles, I'm going to go on the offensive as soon as we can. Yeah, I think the earlier we have to strike where we can and try to avoid war of attrition. And rather see chances where we can outmaneuver the enemy. That should be our task. Yeah, you guys can let me know, of course, what you think always in the comments and give me advice. I think you'll anyways do that. Yes, no worries about this one. I think one of the main things you should know is still that we're going to produce the staggered. So I'm producing now at least 2 or 3 weeks ahead of our production release, like rather 2. And I'm gonna be even on a like a small vacation in the meantime, so rather 3 weeks actually. And we'll try to have probably like 8 episodes staggered already when we start releasing. So yeah, you can let us know, and it's always very much welcome. But it can't be always considered and respected what you're going to tell me. And of course, last disclaimer, which I find quite obvious, but I think we're doing this in a friendly perspective. We're both not intending to cheating and we're honorable players. So, of course, we're both happy if you watch both our shows, and it's probably the best way to enjoy really both perspectives. Please don't just spoiler us. That would be really sad if we get information that we actually don't have just by observers telling us. So yeah, so much about this, and I think let's get started. And let's start off in the north, I think, where yeah we have, and I think I want to read this quickly again. I have actually the guide here, so nobody's telling me something about this. Let's have a quick look at the Americans again. I think I have to stay around Arkhangelsk. Right, fighting spirits. I think I passed it here in the guidelines. This is the events. There's some. Yeah, we want to have the Americans here and this, the UK as long as possible in the war. Therefore, I'm gonna try a lot to keep them in. Here is the actually, like, once again, UK, Poland. Oh, we have no... The thing is, they will anyways be likely to withdraw by mid-1919, the USA. So I don't want to send them to fights, and only in the north. Yeah, probably I'm going to have them around Arkhangelsk. I think there's also going to be some event around the British forces retreating. Actually, I'm going to have the... Like, if they leave, until they leave, I'm going to use them, actually. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, guys, let's... moving forward. I want to definitely make a connection over here. That's something we have to do here. So we could use the railway from Murmansk. Then, yeah, the Brits I'm already... Maybe I can use the Brits one time, I'm not sure. Can we take Emtsa already? I'm not sure. Let's use them for reconnaissance in this case. Thank God I did that. Since it's not possible, then we're gonna man here just in case Bereznik. We're gonna... I wanna improve the supply situation, I assume, presumably. Yeah, maybe it doesn't hurt us to have the Brits at least around for the moment, in case the enemy pushes. But I think the Brits will retreat very soon. And the Russians have to take over. Let's bring them here. And... we have to stabilize the situation. I think the enemy doesn't have strong troops anyways. Yeah, there's not too much to be won. I think, however, we can put up some pressure and take over some like easy takeable yeah, towns, and some in the end it's also some MPP that might make a difference. Just have this protection. At the moment over here, this multinational force, that's I think okay for the start. Oh, we have to also answer, let's not forget about the smack talk. Good luck, comrade. You don't mind if we all call you comrade, do you? If you white shake yourself to the plutocrates, you will be. Ay, comrade. What are we gonna... Rather dead than a comrade. We're not talking to traitors and murderers. It's maybe a little bit too strong to tell, but at some point there has to be peace. But okay, I think not in strategic tournaments. You faithless. If you shake yourself, you might be forgiven your sins. Sin in front of the Almighty, in front of our from God, by God. I'm limited here. No, that's sad. By our Lord. Yeah, let's keep it simple. Not the greatest. Oh, uploading. This is a massive notice I have to send in. Alrighty. Getting here to the Baltics. The Baltics. I ran them with what? I think the Northern Whites are UK in reinforcements. Well, let's definitely take Tartu here. I'm kind of tempted to actually start hitting this Wesenberg fort. I think I will. We have halfway competent forces over here. This Kuzera. Do we have to man this? I mean, there's almost no chance. I think we turn 2, we are getting the British fleet in, so I doubt they're gonna have a landing. He would have to have the Marines on the ships immediately. Let's have actually a quick look on the enemy, what he did in his first turn, so to make sure. I think this would be absurd, but okay, he didn't spend anything on turn 1. Well, this is the... Did he save up? Okay, maybe he put something on ships. There is Marines, right? In Petrograd turn 1 they could go here potentially. I don't forgot when I'm getting the British Navy. Okay, I'm keeping them 1 turn here. This might be painful or not great for some extent, but let's do it. And then we're gonna try this, I guess. At least we have some forest here, and they're not great shape, the other units. And sad, not optimal. Let's keep up the pressure. I would have liked to actually fortify them, and it was not perfectly done. Yeah, great start, Wolf. I mean, he's also forest, right? I kind of want to keep up the pressure over here at the beginning. That's why we're gonna go immediately here to secure here the line, and I think I'm gonna send in the train to secure here down here, and then in Tallinn actually I can get some reinforcements already in. Yeah, northwestern whites. Okay, these guys here too. The Latvians have to wait, but I think this is important to have the Estonians ready to fight immediately. Yep. Alrighty, what are we gonna do about this one? Move slightly forward. These boys quickly dig in for the moment. Also, once again, there's no need to rush them up, I think, and I need to just cover here Lepaya. We don't know. Before we have a fleet to really make sure there's nothing possible, and after a bad experience with landings last time, I think I want to not take any unnecessary risks over here. Kovno. Let's have them also get the Lithuanians here in defensive mode. Then these garrisons can't be dug in. Now already with the Poles, okay. Poles have 0 in the first term. Okay, we can't do anything about it. Interesting. Nevertheless, yeah, I think the first. Now we have 2 tasks, to be honest, of the Poles. Quickly helping out here in Ukraine, or going towards Minsk. We're getting reinforcements once the other Polish armies freed up from the fights here inside Silesia. That's a good question where we want to go first. I guess Kovel has been taken. These are also our boys here, but they will disperse very soon. I think this one has to be taken under control quickly so that they can't really establish these West Ukrainians. And then we can march towards, I think that's what we're gonna go for, and then we could march towards Minsk. But maybe it's not, doesn't hurt us to put a unit somewhere here just to pose some threat, I'm not sure. Let's march here Zelensky to Lublin. Then, if we want to go to Kovel, then have a look what's going on, yeah. Can take Tarnopol and Lutsk this turn already. And we'll leave Lviv, unfortunately, a bit undefended. Can force march these boys down. Yeah, I think we definitely will do that. Yeah, taking Tarnopol or Lutsk this turn. I mean, in the end, actually taking Tarnopol also cuts them off, so I think that's kind of clear, actually. We can move these boys down. Lviv has to be defended for sure. How far can we get towards? I shall we bring these guys in and have them here in position? Maybe that's a good idea, actually. I think they're definitely not on full strength. No, they're not. So let's dig in here and be ready for the attack ourselves. Next to Stanislav already. I think that's kind of a good situation. And we can bring Zelensky. These guys are cut off already. And then we can finish out here these Tartars or these Carpathian West Ukrainians. Actually, I don't know too much about the historic background of these. I would like to know. Kind of interesting fraction over here. Yeah, these lads... I think, once again, I think they're gonna hold the position for the moment. That's good. Here, Kiev. The question is reinforcement or... The Ukrainians also have only... this is the northwestern whites, southern whites, 250. We definitely have some MPP to spend in the beginning, northern whites. Is there no supply? Oh yeah, Kiev has terrible supply for whatever reason. I guess there were riots and so forth. So instead of just increasing or like supplying one more time, I am entrenching them here. Slowly. I mean, we're gonna lose Kiev. No worries about this one. Then, let's see. Yeah, these boys in Poltava survived. They have movement points. We could also just... Those could be reinforced, but they will be blasted out of the way without readiness, without... Poltava is a town. Yeah, I'd rather actually take them here to Kremenchuk and... rather, like we have the river, right? Yeah, I think here the hero whites will join or come in here. So let's see. Let's get our boys here. At least they don't have their prepared bonus here. I mean, they can take Poltava if they want to, whatever. Okay, the French can only go away 5 hexes from Odessa. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's... the hero whites are not at war yet, I guess. Right, like one story, I gotta check this again, not making any mistakes. 5 hexes from Odessa, which is, in my opinion, also 1, 2, 3, 4. Also Kherson, so let's do Kherson also. Not that they quickly grab it. Give Mykolaiv and... In the end, I feel they're gonna leave so early here, the French, that they also don't have too big of a role. Just like keep this occupied, that's a nice one. And yeah, then I think the French fleet, once again, are we talking about French fleet as well? They're units, right? I'm not sure if it includes the French fleet, but to be honest, since the effects the harm we could do here with these boys at the moment somewhere over there, no, actually we cannot do anything with them, so they can also stay here. Alright, Sevastopol. The Crimeans, I think they can just also have here the control over the roads here. We don't have to man Sevastopol at the moment. Alright. Let's get to these boys. Yeah, here I think we have there's some revolutionaries here in Poti, and actually the Brits can remain here. There's nothing to be done. Same with Baku. We actually need to man these. The rest has and can move. Alright, and that's what we're gonna do. First, I think the Terek Cossacks can take Grozny for sure. That's a big one. Also a couple of... It seems like he withdraw a lot of units down here. From what I see. Yep. So, can't take Kishla immediately, but it seems like he evacuated or strategically moved. Maybe then he didn't put people on ships. We're gonna keep the north and west whites anyways there. Maybe it was also due to... Let's have the port to defend it. Unfortunately, we can't take it. That's okay. Yeah, this is a difference than what I did. I mean, I slowed them down here a bit, and probably, I mean, they also gained experience. Now they have the troops available immediately somewhere else. They need to be reinforced and so forth. Yeah, so it's hard to tell which is the better strategy. We will see. Hopefully, this one gives us too much of a quick speed to push out of the Caucasus. We have the Georgians, we have the Armenians. And the Azerbaijanis over here. Let's move them quickly up north. We could also move some Brits to south of Grozny, right? We can operate to just guide this, but is it really worth it? We can move here just for this. Maybe here for the reconnaissance, or maybe we take... Is this south? Actually, it's north. Nah. I don't want to risk too much. Right, let's see. Here we have the Nikin. I mean, its task is pretty much clear. We have to take out these boys here. And they have defenses around all Stavropol, but not in their backs. So I should be coming from this side, but we are not getting there. So only our cavalry, right? Yeah, we have to frontally assault with the 5. Yeah. We have to frontally assault with the infantry here, but it's okay. What? That's annoying. Okay, we can't take them out already. That's a bad start. We'll cut them off at least. And... what is this range here? Come on, let's have Stinikin still profit from this at least. They can't really get out. There's nothing. They have nothing to... We don't really have to be scared of those. Actually, we could move already Denikin to the north because it's going to be relevant to have them here. Here's where the big battles will happen. We definitely don't want to lose Rostov and Novocherkassk quickly. This army corps therefore also needs to move up. We could consider actually getting here in a defensive position. I think last time I could take Luhansk pretty early. He did not deny this to me. I mean, now I could at least man it, right? It's dangerous. It's a frontal position. Maybe I'm actually bringing Denikin already north, because this situation seems to be solved pretty easily. Yes, these are the Cuban Cossacks, and these are also Cuban Cossacks. Okay, you will defend Rostov. Are we defending Luhansk? I think so, almost. Here's a good position behind the river anyway, so yeah. Let's do it, and I think we're gonna also Yushkova here. Since it just provides us some city cover. Unfortunately, no possibility to already man it, but yeah, we have to be quick. We need to march up north here, and yeah, I mean, we have here a first little perimeter. Here we have the Terek, the Don Cup. Yeah, that's the question, Tsaritsyn, right? I mean, we can't take it immediately. It would be smart to have Krasnov over here. We could cut them immediately off, and I think actually it's not a bad idea to already cut off Tsaritsyn. It might get costly, but it's okay. And I think we can actually move these Cav also down here. There might be a strong answer from the enemy, no worries, but... Oh, no worries, I'm worried. This is already a bad, or a really annoying situation for the enemy at the beginning. That's what I'm at least trying to achieve here with Tsaritsyn surrounded. And I think I'm gonna rather give up here, Nikolavka, whatever. Not that relevant, and we can dig in at least a bit. Yep. These boys not, but... Oh yeah, they can. Actually, I think to the outside I will... for a potential counter-attack a bit. I mean, let's see what they're gonna do. The supply is still quite high, of course. And we don't have really quick reinforcements. Worst case, we have to withdraw again. I just want to keep up the pressure, start the pressure quite early on. Okay, here we do have the Postov, HD, Ural, Cossacks. They get under pressure pretty quickly from Frunze over here. I'd actually like to reinforce them. Question is if we shall cause a bit of havoc before. I don't know if this was smart actually. Gonna exchange here actually, since I don't have any defense. And these guys just dig in for the moment. So this is a little bit protected, they can recover a bit. And these boys here in Guryev, yeah, towards Astrakhan, already push a bit here. Maybe not too bad of idea actually. If he tries to retreat too quickly from the south and deploys them somewhere else, we have to keep the push them somewhere. Let's see. Okay, this one, yeah, going pretty fast. So wow, I love this scenario again. And let's see. The Urals. I think we can't really cause too much immediately, too much trouble. We need to move them up, and we have, for the Ural Whites, we probably want to spend some money. Yeah, we have research to do, right? And then I probably also we're gonna copy him here, at least put another chit in here. Yeah, maybe reinforcement is not necessary right now. Is this a great position for us for defense? No, actually great. But maybe we can move up and dig in here, behind the river. Let's do that. And yeah, I think that's a good idea. Despite bringing him in a position where he has a preparation attack, we have great HQ, we have great, we do have, no, level 4, it's not a great HQ. We have an HQ, nevertheless, great supply here, and we can use here, we have at least the river, plus it's forest, so actually it's not the worst position, and we have some reinforcements incoming. And we have this division. There will be a lot of southern troops here, so I'm deploying it also here in the north, I think. We have to reinforce it anyway, so this is, yeah. Then let's actually do the research when we want to do it for the Ural Whites, right? This is the Ural, yeah. I wanted to double check the infantry because it's just by far the most units we have available. And then it probably makes sense to reinforce a bit over here. Probably makes sense to dig in over here. Yeah, these boys here need reinforcements before they enter the and here we probably need to. It would be nice to take Sarapul maybe. And yeah, it's not optimal, but it's swampy terrain. We can upgrade these boys, give them some reinforcements. Yep, so much about this. And it seems like we did the first turn already, guys. Yeah, we're gonna do here with the... Yeah, I mean, we could move actually the fleet out to the Mediterranean. I saw this in the single player. I tried in the meantime. It's been a while. After my defeat, I checked out in single player the scenario a bit. As the whites... It was nice. But single player. Yeah, we could transfer the ships here to the Mediterranean. In the end... Also not a huge bonus. Actually, the Baltics would be the smartest, right? But I think those again we're getting by event, or we can transfer them by event. I'm not wanna. Let's wait with the fleet. I don't want to cause too much weird stuff at the beginning. Okay. Yeah. Then let's have a look at our spendings. Actually, or what can the Brits buy? Now we can save up these. Let's have a quick look at the war maps, convoy map. We are playing 75% of the Brits are going to Northern Whites. That's good. All I wanted to know. The rest can't be doing anything. The Northern Whites, any research possible? Probably not. Gotta save this rudder up. Yeah, the Southern Whites. of course. Double chitting infantry for sure. Leaving us with 75 over here. 75 something we could invest. Nah, tank development, no. Naval, no. Amphibious, no. Logistics. Production, yeah. I think we'll be producing a bit with the south at least. I mean, one chit in production might not hurt us. Or we'll save it up, I mean. But I think I would rather start other researches early on, also like infantry warfare, for example, or buy rather new units immediately. The 75 might be better invested somewhere else. Can we actually buy something immediately? Only Ukrainian militias. I mean, they will be there in 1 month, so probably next turn. The question is if Ukraine is not surrendering immediately within the time. I doubt they can take. With these units are not extremely strong, they cannot take Kiev that easily. Yeah, but is it so helpful? Then it will dissolve quickly after. Nah. Anti-air or fighter. I mean, the airship would be actually funny for. They can't harm it really, right? It would be really, really helpful for reconnaissance. Well, I think we're gonna get a fighter anyways. But is it really that worth it? Buying an airship? I think I'm just tempted to spend money right now. No, I'm gonna save it up. Also, no production tech. Or production tech seems to be more interesting. 10% on every. Guys. I'm really stuck at this decision. The logistics also, of course, always interesting. But we don't operating too much. Let's have a quick look how many units we're actually getting. Is there anything? Nah. I think there's a lot of event units. But we need to produce. But also we need to reinforce first before we produce new ones. No, I'm gonna save up the money. I'd rather save it up. We will spend so much money very soon on all different places over here. So now it's okay to have some reserves. Alright guys, I think that's it for the first turn. The partisans can't fortify. I'm pretty sure there will be some events we have to take care of. This is something I should do maybe. Yeah. I don't want to have this garrison taken out, so it's okay to bring some proper division here in the Lithuanian division actually to defend Vilnius. Yeah. So we're not too weak over here. And then these guys can. I don't want to lose unnecessary units. This is probably around Tsaritsyn is probably the boldest move so far. There is units to strike back, but not this time. I really doubt that they will be taking out Tsaritsyn or our units here. I wonder if we can really take them out, or Tsaritsyn probably have to retreat, but it will might force the enemy to take units somewhere else. Okay, guys, so much talking. Let's finish together. They move to Stanislav. Okay. Nikifor. Did he... What happened to the Heroites? Did he dissolve them, actually? They joined the Bolsheviks? Yeah. No. Ukrainian soldiers desert to partisans? Okay. Oh. Russian winter strikes. Barcelona's workers strike for shorter hours at La Canadiens. Workers in Seattle launch a general strike. Okay. And Kolchak is named supreme ruler of Russia. I think Kolchak is here in the east, right, in Ural. And that's it. Actually, no big decisions. We're just taking here some new, yeah. Seeing our overview, how much we're getting. Southern Whites, yeah, British supplies, as you see, are quite relevant for us here for most of the foreign support. Yeah. And that's it. Turn number 1 is done. I hope you're already hyped as I am. I hope you're supporting me and point out my mistakes. Let me know what I'm doing. I should do better this time. As I said, I'm gonna be 7 to 8 turns in when we release. Nevertheless, there might be some lessons learned. I'm also reading through your comments of the last game here and there. Of course, go check out the last game also if you haven't seen this one, and if you're already too excited. I might have spoiled the results already a little bit, but you can see how it unfolds. So yeah, check probably will link in the video description apart from this in my playlists, of course. And apart from this, yeah, thank you for watching so much. And if you're new to this, or if you're not and you still haven't yet, it would be fantastic if you leave me a like and subscription to support my work at my channel a bit. And of course, do the same for Balthazor. Also, I will put a link to his channel in the video description. Check out his works. He does a fantastic job on several strategic command, but also other games. So yeah, it's a joint project, so I would be happy if we both profit a bit. And apart from this, yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think and so forth. And then see you next time with the next episode, probably a bit shorter than this epilogue or premiere episode. I don't want to say Slava Russia these days. You know, if you have the political background of the conflict, also in the other epilogue. No, just hope for the best. Let's bring back the Tsar and have a good time. Thank you for watching. See you then. Bye. Your Strategy Wolf.